Hi internet, don't put your testicles in soy sauce.
Literally feeding my twins. I'm like, yeah, here you go, boys. Okay. Stop.
Yep, that's a phrase I never thought I would say in my entire life, but since I'm the guy who seems to ruin everybody's fun these days, especially according to comment sections, I decided I would do a slightly educational video on a viral TikTok trend that has a bunch of dudes dipping their testes, the family jewels, the holy chicken nuggets, the nutsack, the shack attack, the California raisins, the penis protection license, well, that's more the foreskin. The testes, the testicles, the balls, the kickballs, the punching bags, the tonsils down under, whatever you want to call them. Can they taste things? No, they can't taste things, but according to some teenagers on the internet, they can. And I'm gonna tell you why they can't. So if you guys ever end up studying the human body or doing anything related to that function, you'll realize that there's a lot of parts that have relations to other parts that you wouldn't realize have relations to those parts. And that's kind of where this has come from, right? The idea that if your testicles, that your testicles can taste things. That's basically it. Now, according to the study that is referenced in this challenge and how this viral trend started, according to the study, you also have taste receptors on your anus. And by the way, YouTube, please don't demonetize this. This is 100% educational, and I mean that without the... I'm going to be using the technical terms. We're not going to be talking about the other terms that I all just labeled out in the first few seconds of the video. We're talking about your human body. The human body. These are things that you should know about. But the study actually found out that both your anus, you know, where poop comes from, and your testes have taste receptors in them. Now, taste receptors are those little bumps on your tongue, right? It's what lets you taste food when you eat food. Pretty self-explanatory, makes tons of sense. Now, what's really special about the tongue is that it's not just a big singular taste, right? It can taste different things depending on the location where the food is. This is why certain flavors are stronger in certain places on the tongue, why you feel it in certain ways, and why when you put your finger on the tip of your tongue that you can taste salt, right? Basically, the tongue is divided up into sections, and each of the different types of taste receptors have a certain section on the tongue where they're most frequent. Obviously, it's not this layered out, it's not that clean, but generally, this is where you're going to find these different cells that taste things are, right? So, of course, you got all these different flavors that you can taste depending on where it is on your tongue, and that's why certain foods taste stronger, or you feel a more fuller flavor when a food reaches a certain part of the mouth. Now, are these things you really have to know? No, probably not. In fact, most of you got through high school biology without ever finding out that you even had different types of taste receptors. But, yeah, there's different types of taste receptors. Now, what does this have to do with your testes and anus? Well, good question. I'm glad you asked, because I had no idea before I went into this too. But, and apparently a bunch of article writers had no idea where this came from either. In fact, some of them just didn't do the research and said, we don't know. The scientists never found out. Actually, yeah, a lot of the reason that certain cells overlap in their function is because they serve regulatory processes, none of which involve tasting stuff with your nuts. Excuse me, testes. So, multiple parts in the body feature taste receptors. This includes the stomach, lungs, brain, and, you know, a couple of others, including, you know, the poop place. Now, when you look at the picture of the tongue that has the taste receptors, right? There's one called umami. Now, most of you definitely don't know what that is, right? It's a specific taste receptor that's usually related to savory things. You're mostly going to find it related to beef and things with certain amino acid profiles. Again, this is all stuff you don't need to know. But the umami taste receptors are the ones that are in your testes. Soy sauce also has that amino acid profile.
Wait, stop scrolling. Okay, apparently you have taste buds in your nutsack, so you're supposed to be able to taste the amino acid in soy sauce, so that's what we got right here. So we're gonna try that.
Okay, Diesel, we're reaching the point where we're gonna understand where this came from, where this strange talent came from, where this challenge is challenging boys and men to put their testes in condiments. Okay, so there's a Business Insider piece, right, that basically correlated the relation between soy sauce and umami. You with me here? Now, because of that Business Insider article and the fact that nobody read the study, most people assume now that your testes can taste things. They can't taste things because, let's be real here, guys, if you've ever been playing sports, I don't think you or I ever want to taste our testicle sweat any day of the week. Okay? I don't care how much you love yourself. Don't do it, homie. It's not worth it. Same thing for any other part of your body with taste receptors. Would you really want to taste your brain juice? Or, you know, what am I saying? It's the internet. Probably. But let's be real here. The general consensus is that most people don't want to taste their own bodily fluids under pretty much any circumstance. Now, the reason I say that these serve a regulatory function is because the testes are not on the outside of the body, but the inside. The testicle sac is not the little testes that are in. The testes are inside the enclosure. They're inside the hacky sac, okay? What this means is that these taste receptors are inside the hacky sac. They're not outside, right? Because that wouldn't really be functional. Same thing for all of these other ones. They're not on the outside. Like, there's a reason we can't taste things with our butt. And thank God, because we'd never be able to poop again, right? And there's a reason that these things are on the inside of our body. Now, those receptors on the inside of your body, what are they used for, right? So they need to detect sweet and umami flavors, right? Because it's trying to make, what is it trying to make in the testicles? And if you say pee, you're a stale meme, right? Because inside your testicles, you make what they call sperm. You make ejaculate. You make baby batter. You make the thing that makes children. That's what's in your testicles. And your testicles need to produce that. What am I doing? Holy shit. Basically, it's trying to detect certain flavors in a generation of sperm. It needs to make sure that these I can't believe I'm talking about this. Basically, it needs to make sure that everything, when they make the sperm, that it's right. You know, that the DNA is right, that everything being produced to make the sperm is correct, and it's not, you know, wrong, and you're not going to end up with a child that's not you, basically. That's the point. It's used to make sure that your sperm comes out and it's going to be correct. So the general consensus here is that no, you can't taste with your giblets. I'm sorry. I know this kind of ruins your day, but this just means that all y'all guys are just dipping your nuts in soy sauce for views on TikTok. Look, if that's what you want to do with your life, that's fine, but just realize that when you're 25 and you have to go apply for a job, that your employer's gonna go, why is there a video of you dipping your family jewels inside an Asian condiment? And then you're gonna go, I don't know, because I thought they could taste, and then you'll never get the job. So just so you know, be careful when you put your life on the line to taste some soy sauce with the hacky sack. Anyway, Popular Science, clearly just the most popular of science sources, went on to say, even if the receptors do end up on the surface, dipping your giblets in soy sauce would enable you to taste them because they aren't cranial nerves connected to your balls. So there's no nerves going from the tongue to the brain. Well, there's nerves going from the tongue to the brain, but there's no nerves going from the nuts to the brain. You understand here? There's a large distance in between. You can't taste, there's no connection for you to relay in your brain, oh, this is what I'm tasting. Scientifically, you lack the proper brain-testicle connection to actually taste things. So, unfortunately, you can't taste things with your nuts yet, but to say that it's impossible, I guess if some prospecting young surgeon out there wants to connect the cranial nerve all the way down to somebody's testes, who knows, maybe it's possible, maybe one day you can, but right now you can't. But to say that it's out of the realm of possibility, I like to remain optimistic. Now, the article goes on to talk about another TikTok trend, and this one's just dangerous and stupid, and I'm just gonna read some of this to you because this blows my mind. Prompted by a report from a concerned mother, which is always our favorite, because concerned mothers, they understand everything. An incident in high school, charges will be pressed, right? Massachusetts Fire Marshal Peter J. Orski addressed an advisory to all heads of the fire department describing the content. It involves using the plug part of a phone charger partially inserted into a wall outlet and then sliding a penny down the wall onto the exposed prongs. The result is sparks, electrical system damage, and in some cases fire. Guys, I don't know whoever told you that you're not supposed to put a fork in a socket. Don't do that. If you guys want to kill yourselves by connecting a fork to a socket, you can, but don't do it. Don't do it at all. What an awful decision. How is this a TikTok challenge? What kind of idiots are actually doing this? I don't think I need to tell you guys that there's significant impacts to electricity damage to the human body, let alone your house. Okay? If you electrocute yourself like that, you have nobody to blame but yourself, and you're really winning a Darwin Award there. The last TikTok challenge to make the news has been one where teens are apparently using each other's mouths as cereal bowls.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Brennan!
Now, aside from how utterly disgusting that is in every sense of the word and how much I hate that, can't really stop anyone. I can't remember the disease that came from Belle Delphine's bath water. The disease, whatever the disease was that people said Belle Delphine's bath water contained, you couldn't contract it by drinking her bath water. That's not how it works. Now, I don't know about eating cereal from someone's mouth. I don't know. That's kind of very close to the source. Who knows? I think, again, a general rule of thumb is to execute safety and generally execute health. Right? Because you don't want to do the big not alive. In before the comments say, joke's on you, I don't want to wake up in the morning. What have we learned here today? Your nuts can't taste. Don't electrocute yourself for a TikTok, and don't eat your friend's cereal mouth. Yeah, I just had to react to this article because I saw it and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Big video coming soon on something people have asked for a bit. Anyway, in the meantime, if you'd like to support the channel to find out other things I'm working on, or perhaps a thing like, oh, my social media detox, which is now up for the $5 tier on Patreon, you can do so and support me on Patreon. I'm going to be doing some experimental stuff there, things that are out of the normal for the channel, things where I can kind of flex my creative muscles a bit, or talk about things that I find very interesting. So I talked about my social media detox, and the books I was reading that helped me come to these conclusions. With that being said, stay safe and stay healthy, Internet.
Step amazing.